So welcome guys to Creature of Habit. I'm back to take my throne back after 2 days hiatus. Sorry about that. That was my cat running. But we are back. We are back. And today we'll do in 5 minutes we will starting, and in the 5 minutes that we'll take the break, you already know. I'm gonna edit the videos. You already know. The videos are gonna go edited. I gotta upload today. E-commerce product videos can increase conversion rates up to 144%. If you're looking to edit your promotional videos on a budget, check out our list of free video editing software you can use to edit long-form content. Yeah. Blender. Lightworks, the best overall free video editing software. It includes simple and intuitive, so it's easy to pick up. Also offers a collection of their tutorials, making one of the more accessible and easy to learn Linux video editing software. Linux Lightworks for Windows. Let's go. Sign up, obviously. 6. We will see. Come on now. Oh shit! Oh, come on. Alright. Yo, I don't have to buy a license. The fuck? Was it what? Whoa. Huh? What is this? What is this? Was it not free? Damn. Obviously, we're gonna go with GUI. India. Job. None, bruv. Jigu. Oh, damn. Bye. None. Save. We have it. Successfully updated. We are Jigu High at the end. Alright, okay. Bro, I don't know. My hair looks so bad. I obviously accept everything. Please take my house away as well. I accept that. Damn. So Lightworks has been installed on my computer. Okay, Lightworks. Loading, blah blah blah. Yo, this shark's cute as hell. In the last 25 years has been used to edit some of the finest film in history. Ooh! Pulp Fiction, Irishman, Heat, ooh, The King's Speech? Bruv. Bruv. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, that's nice. You can even copy the password. Yo, what? Okay, so Lightworks is garbage for me. All right. For pro version. I'm not a pro. We'll see. So probably we won't have a problem. So create a new project. Name would be uh, UPSC Tidbit 1. Notes. We said Tidbit 1. Solid waste management. SWM as poverty alleviation tool. Libraries. The area lists the place that you can visit to find clips to add to your project. You can add libraries for each of the services. OneDrive, Google Drive. This makes it easy to import clips that you have uploaded from a mobile device. That's nice. Google Drive Pedalo and you get it. Let's get it, man. So that you add to your project, and any sequences that you create will automatically appear in the filters area of project contents. Okay. You can organize your clips and sequence into bins, which are like folders. You can make as many bins as you want and they are saved automatically. Alright. They made an empty sequence to help get you around. They wanted to make your sequence sit automatically so you don't have to worry about it. Don't worry about it. Alright. So alright, so we had the videos are in here, right? Probably this one. You mark a region of your sequence by using the blue in/out buttons. Delete the marked region by clicking the red remove or delete button. When there is no marked region, clicking delete adds a new cut option. Clicking delete adds a new cut option. I just realized something. Solid waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule. Bro, the voice. Responsibility of state government to include rag pickers and kabadi walas in formal waste collection system or self-help groups. It is of great consequence. If these people, you have seen multiple videos, and for example of the kid named Kamlesh back in 2016 and 17, it was very famous video. In that video, that kid was suffering from an addiction of a particular combination of some kind of alcohol. Yeah, so basically I had to watch the video and just put in marks and just delete that portion. Nice. So we got it. So basically in these 7 days probably we'll get to do it. Now we are here. You got that shit. And now let's get it. Let's get it, man. Let's get it, man. All right. So the session one has started. Session one has started. We will be obviously in Express. It's probably going to be of tomorrow at this time. So better yet, wait a minute. So that was yesterday. We can even go for Hindu and come back for an Express later. All right. So we got it. September 3. Obviously, this should be the prime concern without any doubt. CJI flags communal content in media. There's a lack of accountability in social media platforms. Ramana points out, bro. NV Ramana is actually a much better CJI than the last two. He has been sticking up for the constitution. I have been seeing the attitude has been that he is not conforming to the direction that our government has been pushing our continuously to. But is it good? Is it bad? In my opinion, that's good because the constitution is supreme law of the land, and that should stand, and its ideals should stand. And if the final interpreter of the constitution outside of the parliament, outside of the Lok Sabha, uh, isn't going to stand for the constitution, then who will? And his standing as he should, as an independent organ equal in power to the executive and the legislature, standing up for the constitution is very good. And when communal content basically is obviously against the Article 15, 16, 21, and obviously with this he does not have a responsibility, but virtue signaling would definitely help the society, because at the end of the day, the intellectuals of the society, and who is much more intellectually enlightened with respect to law than the Chief Justice of India at the moment. Because we have decided that put a retirement age. Oh wait, CJI. Yeah, CJI does not have a term, but it does have a retirement age. Bro, my polity has been slipping, which we would be listening. And one more thing that I would like to clarify, I would like to mention is the fact that there has been in the last 2 days, the hiatus thing that I was mulling over was what to do in this, what should be my strategy, and I had decided to stick with the tried and tested strategy of just mugging up the tests of the coaching institutions that are available on the internet. And basically what that entails is that when I will be doing or starting these tests, it would not matter what I score. It can be 30%, 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. But the fact of the matter remains that I had to do them sufficiently enough times so that the last attempt that I gave before my exams should yield me at least 120, uh, uh, something between 110 and 120 in those tests. So basically, retaking of the test would be required, so that I, number one, drill the current affairs of the period in which these tests have been published. Number two, drill those concepts that maybe are in vogue or are popular in the parlance of the UPSC or the governance side of the of country, the discourse, national discourse or international discourse. The places like Tripoli, Tobruk, and multitude of such places like New Caledonia or St. Helena or Tristan da Cunha, stuff like this. And so the focus would be to repeat and retake tests until we hit 110 to 120 in the tests. So what that will do is basically the strategy is very simple. We are relying on the hundreds of crores or tens of crores of rupees spent on the research done by these coaching institutions, as so as to ensure that questions that they put in these preliminary tests, some of them appear in the UPSC's CSE prelims 2021. What that does is it increases the chance of me actually doing and remembering the question that was asked. This worked last time, and this will work this time as well. As far as my other preparation goes, it will go within that. Whatever I do not remember or have not been able to study, and I feel like not if it is enough in the question paper that if it's given in the question paper and it's enough, then it's fine. But if I need to see, and if it's basic stuff, which I believe I have no ego in accepting that basic stuff might be misremembered by me in this, and which will be blatantly obvious in the papers after I commit a blunder in those, that I need to do that. So that is also there out there. So that is what we are going to do now. All we have to do in this month is to do each and every we will do IS Baba, we will do Vision, we will try to do Vajram. So these three will be there, in which I will invest all of my time to do these coaching institutions preliminary papers. And if time permits, if there are at least, so all we so in order to do that, so if imagine there are like 60 preliminary tests for each coaching institution, that would entail 120 at least that I had to do 3 times. To do that 120, I will have to do so to do that I will have to do so 30 days. 30 days means that 12 tests have to be done. 12 tests have to be done daily. So if I do 10 to 12 tests, and I will bleed heavily, and I will bleed online, which will even make it more intensive and very, hurtful, which would, I believe, improve my chances of remembering stuff. Anyways, that's beside the point. So 10 to 12, if I do daily, then it says that okay, I would be able to do them 3 times for all. So 10 to 12 tests, though, that is a very large number. 10 to 12 tests means I have to do the test and I have to look for things in that, right? And if time permits, then we'll see physics. All right. So CGI flags communal content in media. CGI and Viravana said certain sections of media communalized everything, and this would ultimately result in giving the country a bad name. The remark came while a 3-judge bench headed by him was hearing petitions arguing also from media outlets aired communal content the spread of the novel coronavirus to Tablighi Jamaat meeting in Delhi. The problem is everything in this country is shown with a communal angle by a section of media. The country is going to get a bad name ultimately, the CJ observed. He upbraided social media platforms for lack of accountability. They responded only to powerful people with complaints made by ordinary people. Institutions, judges over content were ignored. These web channels, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, They never respond. There is no accountability about the institution. They write badly and they do not respond. This is the condition of institutions for getting individuals. They consider only people who are powerful. Institution call and judges that do not. This is the reality. He noted. The court asked the government whether there was any regulatory mechanism for the police. Well, there has been social media. So the social media, for the social media intermediaries, there has been the new rule, the IT rule, which basically says that the social media, it separates the social media intermediaries in two types: significant and insignificant. The definition will be provided by a notification later. Then there is to be identification of the originator of a particular content that is deemed to be uh, averse to national security, public order, sovereignty, and integrity of India. Then they would have to install a physical office in India if they are significant social media intermediaries. Along with that, they would have to appoint three officers: one, a contact officer, which would remain in 24/7 contact with legal enforcement authorities of India. There will be a grievance officer, which will take the grievances of all the people. That would imply civilian, non-civilian, and government official and non-government officials both. Grievance and basically a type of a law officer. I do not remember the exact name, but compliance officer that is checking whether the company's working is in compliance with the nation's laws and orders. All right. Sen says it conveyed this to the Taliban at Qatar meeting, with most Indians now evacuated from Afghanistan. The government until said its primary and immediate concern was to prevent any terrorism threat to India emanating from Afghanistan and the Taliban regime. Responding to questions on the reason and nature of the meeting between the Indian ambassadors to Qatar and the chief of Taliban of political office in Doha, the Ministry of External Affairs repeated that the meeting has been requested by Taliban and it would neither confirm nor deny whether India still considers the group a terrorist organization. Let's just treat the Doha meeting as for what it is. It's just a meeting. These are very early days. MEA spokesperson Arindam Bakshi said, when asked if India would consider recognizing Thailand, his line to be also we used the opportunity to convey our concerns, whether it was getting people out or an anti-internal activity. We see the positive response, he said. Did not reply to a question about Haqqani network among the UN designated terror groups and a key Taliban constituent. Haqqani issue. Deputy leader of the Taliban, Sirajuddin Haqqani, is believed to be responsible for a number of attacks on the Indian embassy and consulates in Afghanistan. US suicide bombing in 2008, in which diplomat and among 58 people killed, an attack on Gurdwara Harai Sahib in Kabul in 2020, in which 25 people were killed. The Haqqani network is believed to have collaborated with the Islamic State of Khorasan province in carrying out the attack. Okay, then Khorasan. Ooh. So basically, Khorasan, as I have explained earlier as well, is between the river Oxus and Chaksardis, which are Amudarya and Sardarya in the local parlance. So the region between that is Transoxiana. Combine Transoxiana with Afghanistan, and you have Khorasan. And combine Persian Empire region, you have Greater Khorasan. The river Jaxardis actually passes through which is an interesting question in itself. How good it would be to actually see river Jaxardis in an UPSC question, right? Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. So, Amudarya is a river Oxus. Alright, it approximately forms a border between Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan. Now, the last thing that we learned was that the river Tungabhadra actually meets River Krishna near Kurnool, and it basically meets at the border of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and it rises in Karnataka. And River Krishna obviously rises from your reservoir in Maharashtra and then meet near Kurnool on the state boundary of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, then follow the state boundary, then bend in uh, Andhra Pradesh into the Bay of Bengal, and where Godavari also ends, and there's Guntur region as well, right? So that is something. So similarly, here River Oxus forms a border between Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, roughly. Easy to remember. It is easy to remember, and especially, and then it forms a border between Tajikistan and Afghanistan. It is the border. It is definitely border, and it just then ends in Afghanistan. Or basically, it rises in Afghanistan, forms the border in Tajikistan and Afghanistan, forms the border between Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, and drops in LC. Drops in LC. So now RLC has been in the UPSC question. It has been there. And river Jaxardis and river Oxus have not been asked. And these are linked. So RLC actually is just in the middle. Or basically uh, is what you call. Eh, it's not the middle, but basically it is divided into half. Exactly, almost between Uzbekistan and exactly almost is the most oxymoronic thing to say. Bro, it's almost cut in half by the border. Half lies in Uzbekistan, half lies in Kazakhstan. And in Kazakhstan's lower half, almost parallel to the boundary of Uzbekistan, we have the river Sardis, which then, what is this in the middle? Kyrgyzstan is there. What is this in the middle of Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan? Is there a region in between them? Damn. And no, it is Uzbekistan only. It is Uzbekistan only. And on Republic side is Tashkent. Alright. It just feels like there has been a boundary because of Republic Sardis, but it is not that. So it is so in Kyrgyz the rise in the like this. So basically all of this area is Transoxiana combined with Afghanistan. You can even consider Turkmenistan as well. So it is a rough area. So this area of Turkmenistan as well. Consider that half of Turkmenistan as well and Afghanistan. That just formed the Khorasan. Easy to remember. If you do not believe me, then we have this Khorasan province. Khorasan province is Afghanistan's province is Iranian. Traxian. We'll see. Iran's. The province is of Iran. Traxiani. Okay, so I was wrong. Transoxiana, I was correct. Transoxiana, I was correct. Achaemenid dynasty. It is defined with the classical word of Iran to distinguish it from Iran proper. Oh, it was defined within the classical word of Iran to distinguish it from its northeastern province of Khorasan, a term originating with the Sasanian, although earlier Arab historians and geographers subsume the region with a loose and designating a much Khorasan, Sogdiana, Chaganian, and Kadal were located in the southern. Okay. So Arab historians and geographers subsume the region within the closed region. So yeah, I'm talking about this term, Khorasan. Principal pre-Islamic religion was Zoroastrianism, however Buddhism, Christianity, Manichaeism, Mazdaism. Well, Greater Khorasan, let's see. Sometimes called Khorasan, Khorasan, Khorasan. Is a historical region found in all these provinces of Greater Iran. The name arrived from the east. The name was first given to the eastern province of Persia and was used in distinction to neighboring Transoxiana. Khorasan comprised the territory of northeastern Iran, parts of Afghanistan, and southern parts of Central Asia. Herat and Balkh. Centers in a strict sense, the term stretched as far as the Oxus River. However, the name is often need to include a variant which includes most of Transoxiana, extending westward to the Caspian coast. With you in the middle. Hazara minority. You know, ah, why? It is you in the middle. Oh, I cannot sing. It is you in the middle, alright. It is you in the middle. Oh, yikes, so bad. And it is you in the middle, alright. And it is you in the middle, alright, 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 alright. Oh, oh. There's a tightness. There's tension. That is why it's so bad. So Khorasan, So Khorasan is actually, so basically we will have, so when Khorasan is thought of, immediately in memory we should think about is the ancient Persian empires, be it the Achaemenid. So in the ancient Persian empires, the dynasties which are important are the Achaemenids, who are the contemporaries of Chandragupta Maurya and Ashok majorly, because Chandragupta Maurya, the actual contemporary was Alexander the Great, and after Alexander the Great, well, he took over the Achaemenid Empire, established the Parthians. Uh, there were the Greek Iranians, basically, which had a very an area in Afghanistan known as Oxiana. No, not Oxiana. Bactria. It's just stuck in my mind, right? Parthians. Then came the Sassanids. So basically, these Achaemenids, Sassanids, and Parthians. These were the empires noted with your ancient Persian Empire. So whenever Khorasan comes in a picture, or ever, you had to understand that you must remember that there was an ancient Persian Empire, and its northeastern province was called Khorasan. Although Arab historians combine Khorasan with Transoxiana, but in Iran, whose actual province was Khorasan, they used to use this area to especially distinguish it from Transoxiana, which is an area that lies between River Chaxardis and River Oxus. And so Khorasan is that. Now, Greater Khorasan also is also the area which is between River Oxus and Caspian Sea, and the northeastern province, which includes uh, much of Afghanistan and the northeastern province of present day Iran, much of Turkmenistan, and something of Uzbekistan as well. That is Greater Khorasan, but specifically, it was an area. So, if you ask the Arabs, you will find that Khorasan is, in fact, when they refer to Khorasan, they merge these two areas. If you ask the Iranians, they will tell you that Khorasan is a distinct entity. So that could be great UPSC kind of shit, right? All right. The Khorasan. Oh, nice. That's nice. UPSC tidbit that will fall. Tapas. Placidas. People of Hindustan call every country beyond their own Khorasan in the same manner as the Arab term on the road. Alright, it is interesting, but the session one has ended, and I am going to take a shit, and then I will come back, and if time permits, we will actually do some editing. Ooh, I would not like you to hear my shit dropping in my type. Hall or something. did. Today we will be learning about Khorasan, how it is linked to India and Buddhism. So Khorasan, oh shit, damn. Today we will be learning about Khorasan, how it links to India and Buddhism. So Khorasan is an area which is directly related to the ancient Persian empires. It is the area that is considered to be the northeastern province of the ancient Persian empires, especially of the Sassanid Empire. Now, this area was defined by the Sassanid Empire to distinguish it from the Transoxiana region, that is, the region that lies between River Oxus or Abu Darya and River Jaxardis or River Sardaria. So what I have made here is to show you the area in today's political and physical maps, how it would look today. This distinction and this diagram and its geographical boundaries are given by a social and political poet of Afghanistan, Ghulam Muhammad Gobhar. So as it was a region defined by how far the Persian Empire was, it is different for different people. In Babur's memoirs, it mentions that for Indians, Khorasan was anything that was west. For Arabs, it was something along the lines of what I have made here is improper Khorasan, a very large area shown here in purple. But for the Iranians, now the Persian Empire, this proper Khorasan was the area that would distinguish this northeastern province of Persian Empire from the Transoxiana region. So in a sense, what it means, the improper Khorasan is anything that is not in the west or as far as west as Caspian Sea allows. That is demonstrated by Damgan. As north as Khorazm, which is the delta of the river Oxus or Amu Darya, as far east as Kabul, and as far south as Balochistan, which is a province in Pakistan. So this area may also be considered, but it is a rough general area, so there's no strict rule, but you have to understand it is between the middle of Iran, most of Afghanistan, and some of Central Asia, which is just bounded by the Caspian Sea. Aral Sea is right here, which is being drained by River Oxus and River Jaxardis, and Kabul. So basically, the Pamir Mountains and Hind Kush and Himalayas. So this is the geographical boundary of Khorasan. Now, how it links itself to India. Now, it links itself with a province known as Bamiyan. If you remember that Bamiyan has been in news ever since Taliban has been gaining ground in Afghanistan. Because we remember that Taliban, when it was first in rule, actually bombed the Bamiyan Buddhas. What were the Bamiyan Buddhas? Bamiyan Buddhas were the figures of two Buddhas, Vairochan and Gautam Buddha. Now, what is called as Vairochan Buddha? Vairochan Buddha is the similar idea to Hinduism's Brahma. It is the central figure of all phenomenon. It is from where enlightenment travels to the multiple universes which are interconnected at the center by this Vairochan entity. It is the center of all being. And Vairochan in Sanskrit means the source of light. And light representing wisdom means that Vairochan is where every Buddha in every multiple universes extracts enlightenment and becomes the Buddha himself. And in our world, Gautam Buddha, the Siddhartha Gautam, is the Buddha that extracts the enlightenment from Verochan Buddha. Verochan Buddha is mentioned in Avatam Musk, that is Avatam Sak Avatam Sak Sutra. He's extracted this Vairochan Buddha entity is being described beautifully in the Avatam Sak Sutra. Now, this Avatam Sak Sutra is the basis of Eastern Asian Buddhism, be it in China, in Tibet, in Japan, or Vietnam. All of this is based very largely. There are multiple, more than 24, 25 canons, but Avatam Sak is one of the most important, and it gives multiple answers, right? So Avatam Sak Sutra is where Vairochan Buddha is mentioned, and details have been given. And there's not one scholar. It has been constructed by several scholars over the period of large time, and is an amalgamation of Vajrayana and Mahayana Buddhism ideas. In English, the translation would go with will go as it is. It is translated as uh, garland, flower garland, sutra. So this is how. Now, who built the Bamyan Buddhas? The Bamyan Buddhas were made by the Bamyan Buddhas were made by the Kushan kings when they conquered this the southeastern region of this, in which Bamyan was included, and they built these two statues. For image, you can see here. You can see right here. So that is how Khorasan area, apart from the terrorist activities that require Islam, that is how this region is related to India. Thank you. As you know, the Supreme Court is going into construction. However, seven partially constructed hydroelectric projects in Uttarakhand, Himalaya. This essentially goes against the core mandate of the ministry, which is to conserve the country's natural environment, and one of the prominent electoral promises of the rejuvenation of one of the fundamental on the tragedy of 2030. An expert body was constituted, EBI. Mm, expert body was constituted to investigate the mushrooming of the state of disaster. Ministry found company some changes. But this affidavit they focusing on the government and to construction of 26 other projects and is in the recommendation expert body. EB2 body chamber flag the incalculable environmental risks of such structures have been conveniently sidelined and overridden by EB2, whose mandate has been to pave the way for all projects through some design change modification. Politicians in cahoots with private developers are bent upon going ahead with such projects for short-term monitoring gain despite the dire of climate change threats and environmental challenges. It must be noted that the latest report has specifically mountainous ecological regime ranges also that earlier affidavit statement that had little floods. Interestingly, the recent amendment also concealed the industry state of the PMO. In this development of this meeting, made the policy decision of the hydropower projects in India. This in itself is a bizarre demarcation because on one hand there is an acceptance of the devastating impact of the dam, but on the other hand is a push to pursue how the money has been spent. Should we continue to say that we have made or make amends? The sustainability of the dam long term is highly questionable as hydropower solely relies on the excess availability of water. Climate change models are clear that about the cascading impacts of the global warming trends on the glaciers of Himalaya, the main source of water in region that sustain the drainage network within this small change. Temperature across the region are predicted to rise by 1 to 2 degrees by 2050, retreating glaciers and an alternating phase of floods and droughts that impact the seasonal flow of rivers. The most crucial aspect is the existence of sediment hotspot paraglacial zones, which at the time of a cloudburst contribute huge amount of debris and silt in the river. Sediment hotspot paraglacial zone. Geomorphological regime under which landscape undergo modification by paraglacial process. The time period during which paraglacial process operate. surface exposure upon deglaciation to the time at which the region sediment reaches average interglacial background values. Single background LPA. Thin sediment that takes away the presence of and limited rate of shifts in the landscape. Alright. The most crucial aspect is the existence of sediment hotspot that at tiny cloudbursts contribute to huge amounts of debris in Southern River, thereby increasing the wait a minute. Most crucial aspect is the existence of the sediment hotspot circulation zone, which at the time of cloudburst contributes a huge amount of debris and silt in the river, thereby increasing the river volume and devastation downstream. The flash floods in these Himalayan valleys do not carry water alone. They also carry massive quantity of debris along its silicon not built any beyond 2,000 meters or north of the MCD on the main central thrust. It is a major geological fault. The existing fully commissioned dams in the region are already indicative of the fact that these high gathering incidents may impact local communities and livelihoods. It is time and position on climate change adaptation with respect to the hydrocarbons. That's how I want to discuss this regard fact. Amelia Huber, political ecologist, who has conducted extensive research on the hydropower development in Northeast India, says that dam in the mountain region that are exposed to earthquakes, floods, extreme rainfall, avalanches, and landslides are obviously effects. Down and nuclear discourse on hydropower renewables energy promoted by the dam. We deliberately ignore the contentious externalities such as the social displacement, ecological impacts, environmental technological risks, factor climate change. These are of great significance in the Himalayan terrain. These projects exacerbate ecological vulnerability in a region that is already in precarious state. The intense anthropogenic activities associated with proliferation of hydroelectric projects in these precarious regions accelerate the intensity of flash flood, avalanches, and landslides. The additional element of climate change makes these scenarios much worse. Great earthquakes of magnitude took place in the Himalaya. Many of the segments are likely to see a period of intense earthquake activity in the future. And the event is 23rd of Nepal's hydropower. The recent events such as the Rishima tragedy and the disasters of 2012 and 2013 examples of how come in the way of high velocity flows aggravate disaster and should be treated as a warning against such projects in the disaster prone Uttarakhand River Valley. The proliferation of dams is not restricted to Uttarakhand by 2007. Sikkim had entered a contract with private public sector players for development of 5,000 megawatt round of understanding 2010 for 40,000 megawatt, as Ms. Hoover points out. These agreements thrive on speculative investments and political brokering. Private companies often partner with public companies that have minimal accountability or experience in the Korean news. It cites example of Tista sinking of monsoon, drying up of springs, development of fissures, and increased incidence of landslide reconstruction and maintenance of essential environment. So session 3 is done. And we'll see here. We had to do something, right?
Are practically invisible for the Indian government system. They are practically invisible. Now, when there will be inclusion of these speakers, imagine these kids and these men, women who are surviving in the worst possible scenario in India. That is by picking rags, by picking garbage. They will be in uniforms. When they will be included, they will be counted. They will be given a multitude of benefits. They will be given an Aadhaar card. They will be given a ration card. They will be given is of great consequences. If these people now, these kind of rag pickers are practically invisible for the Indian government of great consequence. If these people now, now these kind of rag pickers
These people, these kind of rappers,
are practically
is fertile.
groups. It is of great consequence. If these if these if these people now these
ये थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट है हटाना if कब स्टार्ट हो रहा है
these kind of rag pickers people now people now
if नहीं हटाना if हटाना है ठीक We have to slow it down really.
If these people now these people now these kind of or self-help groups, it is of great consequence. These people now these kind of rap figures are system or self-help groups, it is of great consequence. These people now these kind of rap figures these people now now the section system or self-help groups, it is of great consequence. These people these kind of rap figures are practically invisible for
Hmm. What I can do is basically remove that frame in which I'm looking down.
system or self-help groups, it is of great consequence. Help groups, it is of great consequence. These people these kind of rap figures are practically invisible.
Hmm.
These people these kind of groups, it is of great consequence. These people these kind of rap figures are practically invisible for the Indian government system. They are practically invisible. Now I just realized something.
Jabardast cutting you, bro.
Solid waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule. There is a responsibility of state government to include rag pickers and kabadi walas in formal waste collection system or self-help groups. It is of great consequence. These people, these kind of rag pickers, are practically invisible for the Indian government system. They are practically invisible. Now, when there will be inclusion of these people, imagine these kids and these men, women who are surviving in the worst possible scenario in India. That is by picking rags, by picking garbage. They will be in uniforms. When they will be included, they will be counted. They will be given a multitude of benefits. They will be given an Aadhaar card. They will be given a ration card. They will be given maybe they will be given Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana's benefit. Maybe they will be given the benefits of National Pension Scheme. They will be given the benefit of Ayushman Bharat. Maybe their kids will be enrolled into multitudes of public schools, ICDS, midday meal scheme. Then we will have much more insight into the society of India that is completely invisible from the system and not have been counted into the statistics of India. And it is a poverty elevation rule. Now, when there is a need, there is a need because as you can see, there is a stat that says 62 million ton per year we are producing solid waste, and only 70% of that total is being collected. That means there is a service that is begging to be taken up by some people, and we have those people, and they are suffering the most abject form of poverty there is. Most abject form of poverty there is. And this rule, and this is the responsibility of state government. So if you see rag pickers not in uniform, not or they are struggling to live, to survive, then it is the failure of state government. There is a rule established. So for my UPSC people, this can be an example or an issue with respect to poverty and hunger that is in the governance section in the syllabus. So it is a very, it's a very interesting take. Uh, it's a very interesting take uh, with respect to this. A very interesting take. Solid waste management rule. It's a poverty alleviation. It's a very interesting take. A very interesting take. Solid waste management rule. It's a poverty alleviation rule.
Nice. I did that shit. I did it. I did it. Yes, this is uploadable. This is uploadable. This is uploadable.
It's a very interesting take. A very interesting take. Solid waste management rule. It's a poverty alleviation rule. I just realized something. Solid waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule. Solid waste
Okay. Okay. All right. Anyways, I get. Uh, ooh, the session 4 has started. Hmm. Three syllabus review case is a setback for pioneering academic. So what the fuck? How much time did it give this? 15 minutes. Damn. Ooh, it just took so much time. Consolidated syllabus drafting. The Delhi University undergrad syllabus review case is a setback for pioneering academic freedom of thought. There was no dissent note even from any of the faculty member. The established norm required the courses to be endorsed by the academic council, which comprises teachers from one discipline and usually council respects the academic decision. The book syllabus scale of the department is the foundation of the collective academic wisdom. There are certain departments which take this task seriously, and there are some who won't bother. Hmm. Last week, the center released the national monetization pipeline. document listing the various assets that will be leased out to private companies over the next 4 years. The government believes that monetizing underutilized public assets will bring in almost 6 lakh crore to the government and help build new infrastructure to boost the economy. The opposition has accused the government of selling off valuable national assets to crony capitalists. In a conversation moderated by Prashant Perumal, Monty Singh Avaldia, and what do you think of the government idea of monetizing operating assets to build fresh assets? Ajay Shah. The grand strategic question is this. On the one hand, we have the government developing and owning public assets, however, forever, and this has certain consequences. On the other, we have the public-private partnership model will develop and operate. So we have found it many difficulties. The government does not have the capacity to enter into contracts and deal with contract negotiation difficulties. Many pieces of the development process are difficult for private people to solve. So is there a way out? Conceptually, it seems that there is a way out, which is that the government should do the early development, which is the high risk phase, create an operating asset, and then sell the asset off to private people. So the asset goes off the public balance sheet and into the private balance sheet. The money collected by the government can go back into developing new assets. I think there's merit in this thought process given the constraint of state capacity in India. Many people have reservations about bringing in the private sector into infrastructure. There's no dispute that we need more infrastructure, but the public sector simply does not have the resources to build it. There are two possible responses. One, for new infrastructure, one can think of bringing in the private sector, set a contractual framework for what it has to do, and then let it bring its own resources. The second is to recognize that there are more risks in the construction stage, and it is perhaps better to let the public sector build the asset and then sell it off to private players, or if not an outright sale, let the private sector manage it. We have a huge amount of infrastructure to build in the future, and we have huge value embedded in existing infrastructure. So why not realize that value and let the public sector use its resources to build the infrastructure we need? Of course, problems will arise. The first is whether you are realizing adequate values from the asset. This depends on the quality of the bidding process and whether enough private players are attracted to the bid. The second is cronyism. The only way of ensuring that asset monetization doesn't lead to cronyism is to make the bidding conditions such that the people eligible to bid are not a small, predetermined set. However, because of the capital intensity of the project, not everybody is going to be able to bid. Even so, you can ensure that there is sufficient participation. Why would the choose asset management over outright privatization? I don't know what consideration went into making that decision. I think we should privatization because we don't know what's best. One reason that the government might not want to outright privatize resources like land. Then you may not want to just hand it over. It's easier to justify 30 year lease because at the end of the lease, the land stays with the government. In other context, if the land is of no great value, you could simply hand it over. That's why I feel that these are issues of choice. I would like to put more consideration on the table the trade-off between outright privatization and demand. The first is do we want to build a society where there is a gigantic public sector? How much do we want state domination of society? I mean that reduced state domination of society is important. The second aspect is practical. When a private person builds an infrastructure asset, it tends to get done better because the person has self-interest in making high quality asset. The economist Lawrence Summers once famously said that never in the history of the world has anyone ever washed a rented car. If I'm a private investor in a highway through a complex asset monitoring, I do not really own the highway and I will take less care of that asset. Entering in a complex contract with a government organization involves great risk because the Indian state is not a great party to have a contract with. So, a clean asset sale puts it into the complexity of the government. There is to ensure there is no asset stripping by a private investor with limited time horizon. When you have a 30-year contract, for example, you are getting the money into which will ensure that it will forever 31st December 30 year goes down compared to when you own it yourself. There is an unresolved problem. People should think about that. One option would be that you allow a renewal even before the lease ends, but then you need a competitive process there. If you take fire the its own valuable property in Delhi on a fixed lease. They did not allow the holder to run down right at the end of the lease in the hope that these leases will get renewed so the problem get resolved. The question is how much complexity you want to build in a contract. Imagine that I have got a highway contract for 30 years. In the contract, the government can embed some clause stipulating various conditions. But you're soon starting to go closer to the complexity of the triple B world. The more complex you make the contract, the more difficult it is for the Indian state to achieve the state capacity required to uphold the contract. All too often, the Indian state engages in dadagiri, so private people are not comfortable entering into complex contracts with Indian state. Now, that does not mean that outright sale is easy. With an outright sale, we still have a government regulator and we will face the problem of regulatory capacity. Trade-off is about the cost of building regulatory capacity versus the cost of building contracting capacity. What about the risks of assets being owned by a few large companies and its impact on consumers? Because of the limited number of private players, bidding up assets may not totally be fair. If you open a bidding process to include foreign players, then you're not limited to small players. As far as the consumer becoming hostage to a particular player is concerned, many of these projects, by their very nature, are monopolies. You don't have competition in the sense that you are handing over a road from Delhi to Agra to a private player. There's a parallel road competing with it. You can maybe go by rail or you can go by air, but there's only one major highway between Delhi and Agra. You certainly don't want the person who has got it to start behaving like a monopolist. So what do? You lay out in the operating contract that you signed in the terms of services. Now, all this is subject to the government's poor contracting ability, but in principle, it is possible to have a relatively more complex contract and to have a way of adjudicating within the terms of the contract with sufficient credibility, independence, and an independent set of regulators. This may not be easy because many people believe that regulators appointed by the government will give judgment favorable to the government, so that regulatory authority should not be under the institutional control of the ministry that enters into the contract. But these are all areas we need to experiment with here. However, the critical thing to ask is what's the alternative? We could limit ourselves to what the government can do with its own resources and accept the lower trajectory of infrastructure development, or we could take these risks and go for a higher trajectory. We should do the latter. So the point remains that simply monetization of the scheme is not important, is not be all and all. We have to, there is an inner debate of implementation. That is what is going on here. When the question is asked what we have to do, then uh, uh, the question actually is what are the alternative to monetization? So the alternative is that government build and government operates, or go into triple P model, or monetize the assets, uh, in which contracts are made in lease basis, in which the ownership remains with the government, but the lease is given to the private players who will operate the asset in the hopes that they will turn it into profit making asset. Number one. And number two, free up resources for making more infrastructure. Basically, uh, banking on the private sector's resources to build more infrastructure so that infrastructure making is boosted. So, resources of government will be expended in making infrastructure assets, which will come from private sector, who will redeem these by operating the assets being made by government. Now, triple P is in problem because the contract is very complex and Indian system, uh, or Indian party as a contract party is very poor because it uh, it is way more powerful than any private institution, and the judgments are of grievance based system generally goes in the favor of government, and there are way too many complex conditions to be followed by the private player in this partnership. So this public private partnership is not a partnership of equals and is then leading to abuse by the stronger of the weak. So there is less attraction towards triple B project. Now monetization and privatization. When you completely sell off, you will need a regulatory oversight so that uh, the private player does not behave monopolistically. For example, if there is a highway from Delhi to Agra, to monetize this asset, he puts 10 toll booths because people have to go between Delhi to Agra, and he has an unquestionable lease of 30 years. He can do that. No, he does not have a lease. He owns that asset now. Then people would require to go from Delhi to Agra, and now it is considerably costlier because of 10 toll booths in between. Although the service would be great, there will be more lanes and etc. But 10 toll booths is an excessive service now. Here, a regulatory body would come in, which would say you cannot build more than 3 toll booths. Another condition is placed, and with this, there can be a grievance with the private player. He said three are very less. Probably I would go for five, but now I would require to challenge this regulatory thing. If it is in Supreme Court or any High Court, then it would be very late, and it would tend to be uh, a situation which would lead to multiple roadblocks in the progress of infrastructure, and it would create unnecessary problems for the private players to get into litigation and red tape and all of that. So a authority would require to have a grievance redressal mechanism, and along with uh, assurance that this regulatory body and its grievance redressal mechanism, generally a tribunal, will not always rule in the favor of the uh, government. On the other hand, if you monetize, you will need a contracting party, which would create a contract that is fair to both sides. That is a contract that does not place as many complexities as is known with triple P, but it should not be so simple as to as it should not be as simple as it should not be as simple so that there is an abuse of the contract by the private party. So the implementation would mean that we have to form. So if we are going the monetization route, then of it is a common sense thing to actually have a contract, the contractor part of the government being overhauled, or making an effective contract, uh, making enough contracting capacity. I agree with what Manu said about explaining money concepts, rather than presuming that we know the right answer. I feel if you have a simple problem like a highway, then outright sale requirement makes more sense. But there are many problems that are far more subtle. I feel like it's healthy for us to decide one epistemic skepticism. But on the other hand, I would like to say that opening up bidding to lower, not least. Yeah, so that now there is also a problem of crony capitalism. This and this foreign players is to be there. Then there is the problem of new imperialism. Overseas organizations are particularly important in obtaining the most efficient revenue within a financial organization. You could deliver the infirmities of the finance and to disperse shareholding company with the owner of operations. It said a lot of elements of project and should be more in favor of more competition. However, we overcome issues that have stymied past this investment in modernization efforts. In little bit cases where the system does not actually want to privatize, so it puts forward conditions that the government look very sensible. You know what any government would like to say when it is privatizing something that the new owner will not be able to get rid of the excess staff. But if you're a private owner making that energy, it's the key thing is efficiency. If you come up with a privatization program that says that you cannot get rid of all the staff, you're going to end up with progress. And when 1980s, when Rajiv Gandhi was the prime minister, it was agreed that we can privatize scooters in India. At that time, Bajaj Auto was willing to take over on conditions that were quite reasonable, but the conditions that the minister came up with were guaranteed to make Bajaj Auto say no, thank you. I don't know the condition that will be imposed in the asset modernization program, but I think these are the sorts of things that should be addressed upfront in a policy document. Take the example of Food Corporation of India, warehouse in Mumbai occupying 120 acres of land. The question was being whether you really want to go and set up such a large area of land in Mumbai. The estimated use of that land is probably to sell it out, raise money, and pay down public debt. So that's a classic privatization question. If you try to view this through an asset monetization, you will say, I want to give this asset to a private vendor who will continue to sow weed in it as an agent of the government for the next 30 years. That really does not make much sense. We should be asking first principle questions about how many of these assets we really want under government control. So the monetization also has one more problem is that most attractive of the assets that would be leased would be the ones that provide most profits to the government. So in a sense, for example, the per capita income. From per capita income, you can you yeah from if I add the incomes of all the Indians, then if the per capita income of US is $20,000 at this present time, so $20,000 multiplied by 1.3 billion, 1.3 you get 10 to the power 9 divided by 10 to the power 12, that is a trillion. 26 trillion. Our GDP would be 26 trillion, and at present it is 2.6 trillion, exactly 10 times. The, our GDP should be $26 trillion. $26 trillion US GDP is $21 trillion per capita GDP. It's 65. Oh shit, it's 65, not 20. It's 66. is 66. 66. All right, 66. If it were to be like US, 66, 65, so that's just 65,000 into 1.3 to 10 power 9 divided by 10 power 12. 84 trillion. 84 trillion. 84 trillion is roughly 3.2 times, so 32 times. Our GDP needs to be 32 times, so the scope of infrastructure is just unlimited. Unlimited. This source is unlimited, so the private sector, if it keeps on growing and growing, it will be really, really large. Do we have the capacity? Because India is smaller than US. $84 trillion. $84 trillion. India is at current 2.6 trillion. That is a huge discrepancy. That is huge. I mean, huge. So 19. So basically, in 6 minutes. That is 6 minutes. So basically, you can stop and use a bank. Session 4 is done. Session 4 is done. Alright. Oh, you can do this.
I just realized something. Solid waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule. There is a responsibility of state government to include rag pickers and kabadi walas
What the
in
fuck?
formal waste collection system or self-help groups. It is of great consequence. These kind of rag pickers, are practically invisible for the Indian government system.
What is happening? What the fuck? What happened?
I just realized something. Solid waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule. There is a responsibility.
What the fuck? What happened here? What the fuck did it just. What the fuck? Alright.
Management rule is a poverty alleviation rule. There is a responsibility of state government to include rag pickers and kabadi walas in formal waste collection system or self-help groups. It is of great consequence. These kind of rag pickers, are practically invisible for the Indian government system. They are practically invisible. Now, when there will be inclusion of these, I just realized something. Solid waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule. There is a responsibility of state government to include rag pickers and kabadi walas in formal waste collection system or self-help groups. It is of great consequence. These people, these kind of rag pickers, are practically invisible for the Indian government system. They are practically invisible. Now, when there will be inclusion of these speakers, imagine these kids and these men, women who are surviving in the worst possible scenario in India. That is by picking rags, by picking garbage. They will be in uniforms. When they will be included, they will be counted. They will be given a multitude of benefits. They will be given an Aadhaar card. They will be given a ration card. They will be given maybe they will be given Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana's benefit. Maybe they will be given the benefits of National Pension Scheme. They will be given the benefit of Ayushman Bharat. Maybe their kids will be enrolled into multitudes of public schools, ICDS, midday meal scheme. Then we will have much more insight into the society of India that is completely invisible from the system and not have been counted into the statistics of India. And it is a poverty elevation rule. Now, when we will, there is a
Hmm. Practically invisible.
need. There is a need because, as you can see, there is a stat that says 62 million ton per year we are producing solid waste, and only 70% of that total is being collected. That means there is a service that is begging to be taken up by some people, and we have those people, and they are suffering the most abject form of poverty there is. Most abject form of poverty there is. And this rule, and this is the responsibility of state government. So if you see rag pickers not in uniform, not or they are struggling to live, to survive, then it is the failure of state government. There is a rule established. So for my UPSC people, this can be an example or an issue with respect to poverty and hunger that is in the governance section in the syllabus. So it is a very, it's a very interesting take, a very interesting take. Solid waste management rule. It's a poverty alleviation rule.
'Fade'. I just want a fade, not an abrupt black. So just fade. So we have this, and then we have this black, and 1 second. This is 1 second, I guess. And filters, no, local libraries, VFX.
a poverty alleviation rule. Well, it's a very interesting take. A very interesting take. Solid waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule.
There's no blend. What the fuck? It just is fade into this. He didn't do anything. What the fuck is this? There's no blending. कुछ भी नहीं हुआ.
Solid waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule.
What the fuck? पता नहीं क्या है ये. I don't know what the fuck was that.
Waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule.
Oh, हाँ, कुछ इस टाइप से चाहिए. हाँ, ये है कुछ. और अगर मैं इसको रिमूव करता हूँ, then we can have.
Waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule.
Come on now.
Management rule is a poverty alleviation rule.
Ah, dissolve. It's dissolve. Yes, it is dissolve. Dissolve is what is this. Okay, so it is dissolve. Nice. So now all I have to do is see apply. What the fuck? No, not here. At the end, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule.
from the start. From
I just realized something. Solid waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule. There is a
this. What the
responsibility
fuck
of
is
state
this?
government. There is a responsibility of state government to include rag pickers and kabadi walas in formal waste collection system or self-help groups. It is of great consequence. These people, these kind of rag pickers, are practically invisible for the Indian government system. They are practically invisible. Now, when there will be inclusion of these people, imagine these kids and these men, women who are surviving in the worst possible scenario in India. That is by picking rags, by picking garbage. They will be in uniforms. When they will be included, they will be counted. They will be given a multitude of benefits. They will be given an Aadhaar card. They will be given a ration card. They will be given maybe they will be given uh, Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana's benefit. Maybe they will be given the benefits of National Pension Scheme. They will be given the benefit of Ayushman Bharat. Maybe their kids will be enrolled into multitudes of public schools, ICDS, midday meal scheme. Then we will have much more insight into the society of India that is completely invisible from the system and not have been counted into the statistics of India. And it is a poverty elevation rule. Now, when there is a need, there is a need because as you can see, there is a stat that says 62 million ton per year we are producing solid waste, and only 70% of that total is being collected. That means there is a service that is begging to be taken up by some people, and we have those people, and they are suffering the most abject form of poverty there is. Most abject form of poverty there is. And this rule, and this is the responsibility of state government. So if you see rag pickers not in uniform, not or they are struggling to live, to survive, then it is the failure of state government. There is a rule established. So for my UPSC people, this can be an example or an issue with respect to poverty and hunger that is in the governance section in the syllabus. So it is a it's a very interesting take, a very interesting take. Solid waste management rule. It's a poverty alleviation rule.
Nice. That is nice. That is nice. Oh, yes. Done. I believe I just, that's it. Now I just have to export this. Can I just do this? Now what to do? Now I have made this. Yes, export. YouTube. Oh, no, 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 no. What? This sequence, right? All right. Let's see. Let's see. Uh huh. Hmm.
I just realized something. Solid waste management rule is a poverty alleviation rule. There is a responsibility of state government to include rag pickers and kabadi walas in formal waste collection system or self-help groups. It is of great consequence. These people, these kind of rag pickers, are practically invisible for the Indian government system. They are practically invisible. Now, when there will be inclusion of these pickers, imagine these kids and these men, women who are surviving in the worst possible scenario in India. That is by picking rags, by picking garbage. They will be in uniforms. When they will be included, they will be counted. They will be given a multitude of benefits. They will be given an Aadhaar card. They will be given a ration card. They will be given maybe they will be given Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana benefits. Maybe they will be given the benefits of National Pension Scheme. They will be given the benefit of Ayushman Bharat. Maybe their kids will be enrolled into multitudes of public schools, ICDS, midday meal scheme. Then we will have much more insight into the society of India that is completely invisible from the system and not have to be counted into the statistics of India. And it is a poverty elevation rule. Now, when they will, there is a need. There is a need because, as you can see, there is a stat that says 62 million ton per year we are producing solid waste, and only 70% of that total is being collected. That means there is a service that is begging to be taken up by some people, and we have those people, and they are suffering the most abject form of poverty there is. Most abject form of poverty there is. And this rule, and this is the responsibility of state government. So if you see rag pickers not in uniform, not or they are struggling to live, to survive, then it is the failure of state government. There is a rule established. So for my UPSC people, this can be an example or an issue with respect to poverty and hunger that is in the governance section of the syllabus. So it is a very it's a very interesting take, a very interesting take. Solid waste management rule, it's a poverty alleviation rule.
Bus, what's it? So there it is. Uh, fuck these ants. ये कहाँ से आ गई यार चक्की. Nice. Now I can upload, bruv. I want to upload shit. You know. Damn. I can some shit. Let's go to YouTube. Hey, hey, creation. Right. Upload. Documents. UPSC document open. Exception. Hey, so I can upload a thumbnail as well. Yo. Okay. There cannot be its full name. Thumbnail. What defines my content is probably Evernote. Okay. Yo. What the fuck? Alright. So it was nice. Everything free on the internet. Alright. Uh, Now, what should I put in? Yeah, clickbait thumbnail. Must watch for mains and stuff. Bro, I don't want to make such catchy shit, you know? Must for mains and bullshit, bro. It's all without bullshit. Yeah, yeah, I just have to. Yeah, I just have to download a parliament building finish. Yes. All I have to do is download this image. Save images, thumbnail, save. Nice. All I had to just, uh, bro, its job is done. Some heavy lifting is being done, definitely. Some real heavy lifting, you know? Shit. Damn, man. So much goes into this stuff. Damn. Yeah, let me do this on this. Bravo. Yeah, simple shit. Oh, uh, documents. Pictures. No. Where did I see it? Showing code downwards. Restart HP. Oh, yeah, here it is. All I have to just and just say out last. Yo, the fuck? Just get this here. Yeah, just must work. Yes. Feels so scummy. Damn. All of this, must be in bold. Or some shit. Yep, bold. Must watch. And the color, bro, the color. What should be the color? Color should be. Oh my god. The color is not to be black, bro. Let's say it is yellowish. Oh, so you put this and just. Okay, okay, so I did that. It is black. Okay. No, not green. Who the fuck is yellow? I don't know what is going on. Wait a minute. Good one. Oh my god. That was yo, I gotta fix my shit. My beard looks weird. Your beard's weird, yeah. That's me. Yo. This looks so scummy, man. Damn. How do people do it, man? Must watch for GS mains. Bro! Damn. SWM rules must be also in bold, and hence they should occupy this much, not black, and exactly right here. Yeah, that. Okay, so yeah, this does not change anything. Oh, okay, okay. So this is so 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 if this is okay, okay. So we go here, right? Okay, so this is how they get their extremely abhorrent. Yeah, different colors, for GS main and stuff. Must watch for GS main. Blah blah blah. And 40. So it should actually also. Oh, all right, all right. Let's work the GS mains, and I also add poverty. A catchword. Uh, Not many might be doing that. Poverty alleviation. Yeah. 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 Right in the middle. And the color is blue cyan. Just the outrageous colors. 40. Damn, man. The green color. Damn, this looks so bad. You know, just this. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I can do one thing. Yeah, must watch for GS in the middle, and the the national flag color. Right. That can be done. Yeah. That can be done. And respecting our flag as well. And yeah. Oh, come on. Must watch. And this. Yeah. Come on, come on. So doing this, doing this, uh, doing this, and doing this. Must watch. Respecting the flag. It should be orange. Orange. Alright. Okay. Orange. And then we have this in white. Actually, the color must be white. Or basically everything here. Everything here. Yo, what the fuck? All I want is white. Yes, this one. This white shit. How can I go to white? White. How do you go to white? Yes, right here. Yes, I got it. And we must watch SWM. And we got it. We got it. Not consecrating our parliament building for GS mains. Nice. This is fine. And here I would just UPSC. Bro, doing too much, eh? Doing too much. UPSC. Alright, that's fine. UPSC for GS. Nah, this is just too much for GS. Alright, I would just say save. Now, XCF. What? No, JPG, man, or PNG or some shit. Oh, okay. Sorry, XCF with the save file, and you can, yeah, save and file, and you export this. Okay, all right, that makes sense. Thumbnail done. SW. All right. It will, yeah, this will take time. Yeah. Select file type of PNG. Save, export. Ugh. I don't know, man. Do I need compression? What is the compression level? This compression level. Give me. What the fuck is this? Investment equipment and quality information. So, is there some limit or what? And when I'm exporting shit, not compression level. Yeah, export. Yeah, it is done, right? Now I can see that. SWM rules. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. I like this. I like this. For GS mains, must watch SWM rules 2016 for the alleviation. And in this format, nice, with Parliament in the background because it's a central law. Because it's a central law. All right. It would be doing too much. It contained Modi's picture, bro. In downloads, we have. Da- Dang. Wait. Huh? Is downloads. SWMs. Open. Okay. Next. No, it's not meant for kids. Let's see. It's create. So only this done. Alright, UPSC tidbits. Paid promotion, packs of show more. Hence, it does not contain anything. Automatic chapters, tax can be well, what is this? Hashtag UPSC, hashtag IS, hashtag poverty, etc. Right? Captain certification none, recording date none, standard license, category education, old potentially inappropriate. Allow all comments, freedom of equality, sort by top, likes and dislikes this video. Alright, complete transparency, let it rip on me, next, add an end screen. Content. Okay. We'll see to this later. Let's do action. And best for viewer and subscribe. Yeah, that's nice. That shit is nice, you know? Yeah. Video which is best for viewer. And yeah. Yeah, see. And screen as well. Next. Close. They are taking longer than expected. Public. I don't know. I would like to publish this. Let's go. Close. We got it. We got it. Yeah. Hey. Hey. First video on the platform, bros. Yes. We did it. We did this. This was hard work and I liked it. I liked it a lot. So basically, yeah. This was all it took was basically 45 minutes or what? Yep, yeah, 50 minutes. 50 minutes. I would say that counts as 2 sessions. I would say 719 and 750. Yeah. That counts as some session minus 10. Nice. We did that shit. We did that shit. Done. When we come back, minus 10 minutes maybe. So now we go back to a breakfast time. No, see what I have learned is basically I should stop the stream when breakfast is there, because It will be more earnest. I want to be as honest as possible, because being honest will attract honest people. So absolutely honest, absolutely bang on. We have spent 3 hours and 40 minutes for work. Let's go. Let's go. That was nice. That was nice. When we come back, we will be doing tests, current affairs, and we will be discussing multiple attitudes, multiple things, multiple strategies. Let's go. We will be back by 9:40, 9:40 ish. All right. Bye bye.